Iranian drones target U.S. forces, a dangerous new phase in Middle East conflict. Bismillahir-Rahman-ir-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Tonight, the Middle East stands on the edge of a storm, and the world is watching closely. Iran has made explosive claims that it carried out a drone strike on a U.S. Marine base in Kuwait, allegedly killing or injuring nearly 100 American troops out of 160 stationed there. If even partially accurate, this would represent one of the most serious escalations between Iran and the United States in recent history. But this story is not just about one strike. It is about a conflict that appears to be entering a far more dangerous and unpredictable phase. The Kuwait strike. What is being claimed? According to Iranian sources, the attack was carried out using 10 drones. The alleged target was Camp Arefjan, a major U.S. military installation in Kuwait that supports operations across the Gulf. Iranian officials claim that around 160 American personnel were present during the strike, and that nearly 100 were killed or severely wounded. Now, these numbers have not been independently verified, but the political message behind the claim is clear. Iran is signaling strength and escalation. Tehran has openly stated that the confrontation with America has entered what they describe as a dangerous phase. That phrase alone carries weight. It suggests this is no longer symbolic retaliation. It suggests preparation for something bigger. A multi-front strategy across the region. This confrontation is no longer confined to one location. Reports claim that U.S. military installations in Bahrain and Qatar have also been targeted. In particular, Iran allegedly launched drone strikes toward Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, one of the largest U.S. military bases in the region. At the same time, Israeli territory has reportedly faced nightly drone and missile threats. Iranian sources claim that they have shot down multiple Israeli Hermes drones and captured debris, presenting this as proof that their air defense systems are adapting. Whether exaggerated or not, the narrative being built is powerful. Iran is showing it can operate on multiple fronts simultaneously. Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Israel. Even claims of missile activity reaching into the Indian Ocean. This is no longer a localized exchange. This is a regional chessboard. The drone warfare strategy. Perhaps the most critical element of this conflict is not geography, but technology. Iran is heavily relying on drone warfare. Low-cost drones, sometimes costing only thousands of dollars, are being used to pressure advanced air defense systems like Patriot and THAAD. Intercepting a drone can require missiles costing hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. That imbalance creates a strategic problem. Even if a drone is shot down, the defender spends far more than the attacker. And if even one drone penetrates defenses, the impact becomes psychological, political, and military. Iran's apparent strategy seems twofold: overwhelm missile defense systems with volume, drain American missile stockpiles before launching larger-scale attacks. There have even been discussions in U.S. political circles about missile production capacity, with some officials acknowledging that replenishing advanced interceptors takes time. Meanwhile, Iran reportedly produces drones in large quantities. In modern warfare, cost efficiency matters, and drones are rewriting the rules. Naval escalation, a dangerous expansion. One of the most concerning claims involves U.S. naval assets. Iranian reports suggest ballistic and cruise missiles were launched toward U.S. destroyers in the Indian Ocean, allegedly using long-range systems capable of reaching up to 2,000 kilometers. If verified, this would represent an extraordinary escalation. Historically, direct missile targeting of U.S. naval forces is considered a red line. The oceans have long been America's strategic advantage. Challenging that dominance sends a message not just to Washington, but to the entire world. Internal pressure in the United States. Conflict abroad often creates pressure at home. Inside the United States, political debate is intensifying. There are reports that a significant portion of the American public is wary of another prolonged Middle Eastern conflict. Lawmakers are asking difficult questions. Are casualty numbers being fully disclosed? Are defense systems being stretched too thin? Is there a long-term strategy? Financial markets are also reacting to uncertainty. Geopolitical instability affects oil prices, global trade routes, and investor confidence. Whenever the Gulf region heats up, the entire world economy feels the tremors. The diplomatic breakdown. Perhaps the most dangerous aspect of this situation is the breakdown of diplomacy. Previous escalations between Iran and the United States often ended with back-channel negotiations. But according to recent narratives, many senior Iranian commanders have been killed in prior strikes. Leadership structures are under strain. And here lies a critical question. If escalation continues, who negotiates peace? When command structures are disrupted and retaliation becomes decentralized, conflicts can spiral beyond control. History teaches us that wars are hardest to stop when communication channels collapse. Gulf states on edge. Gulf nations are now walking a tightrope. Countries like Kuwait, Qatar, and Bahrain host U.S. bases, but they also sit geographically close to Iran. If these states become direct participants rather than hosts, the conflict could expand dramatically. Any miscalculation could ignite a broader regional war involving the Gulf Cooperation Council states, Israel, Iran, U.S. forces, potentially even external powers monitoring from afar. The Middle East has seen conflicts before, but drone saturation warfare on this scale is relatively new, and new forms of warfare often produce unpredictable consequences. The economic dimension. Beyond the battlefield lies another arena, the global economy. Oil routes through the Strait of Hormuz are among the most strategically important in the world. Any threat to shipping lanes can drive energy prices upward. Insurance costs rise. Markets fluctuate. Gold and silver often become volatile safe haven assets during instability. Even if direct combat remains regional, the economic shockwaves are global. Is this an endless war? Some analysts are now asking whether this could become an endless conflict, a prolonged cycle of drone strikes, missile interceptions, and retaliatory operations. The risk in such a scenario is exhaustion, military exhaustion, economic exhaustion, political exhaustion. Modern warfare is not only about firepower, it is about sustainability. Can missile stockpiles keep up? Can drone production continue at scale? Can domestic political support remain strong? These are the questions shaping the future of this confrontation. What happens next? There are three possible paths forward. 1. Escalation. More strikes, broader involvement, possible direct confrontation between major powers. 2. Controlled retaliation. Measured responses designed to maintain deterrence without crossing irreversible lines. 3. Back-channel diplomacy. Quiet negotiations aimed at de-escalation before regional war becomes unavoidable. At this moment, it is impossible to predict which path will dominate. But one truth is clear. The Middle East is at a critical turning point. Final reflection. This is not just a story about drones or bases. It is a story about modern warfare evolving in real time. low-cost drones challenging billion-dollar defense systems, regional powers testing global superpowers, political leadership under pressure, diplomacy struggling to keep pace with escalation. Whether these claims are fully accurate, partially exaggerated, or strategically amplified for psychological impact, the tension is real. And in geopolitics, perception can be as powerful as reality. The coming days and weeks will determine whether this becomes a contained confrontation or the beginning of something far larger. The world is watching, and history may be unfolding before our eyes.